Hey, what's happening, everybody? It is Thursday night time for another episode of Thrifty Business. I'm your one host, Jason Thrifts, and with me reading his book all the way up in Canada. Hello, Craig. How are you?
Hello, Jason. I'm very good. How are you? Very strange. I'm reading this book, and swear to God, look what's on this page. Tell us about your business.
Bubble Fast.
Bubble Fast.
Bubble Fast been around a long time.
This
might be a good idea to have Bubble Fast on, seeing how they're dealing with all this shutdown, because their business supplies our business, which all of us are doing pretty good selling online. So
pretty good.
How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing pretty good. Earlier today, I'd like to tell you that I ended up buying some extra ice cream by mistake. And that's because as I was out at the grocery store, Rick was in the car, and I bought Rick ice cream yesterday because I said, "Would you like some ice cream?" And he said, "Yes." I said, "Okay, what do you want?" I said, "How about Dairy Queen?" He said, "No way, we're not paying $14 for 2 things of ice cream. Go and buy some." So I drove last night at 10 o'clock and I bought some ice cream, but there wasn't a lot in there. So I had choices of a couple, brought them home. He didn't like either. So I go today because I forgot to pick up a couple of things, including coffee for him. And I'm there. I get all of my shopping done. I run to the front of the store and I look at my watch because messages come up on my watch from my phone. More ice cream. I go back. I'm looking to get more ice cream. And I'm going, what the hell flavor does he want? I pull up my phone. It's a conversation you and I and he are having. And you asked for more ice cream. So I ended up buying more ice cream, thinking that he wanted more ice cream. And I got back to the car and I'm like, I got you more ice cream. He goes, I didn't ask for more ice cream. Jason asked for more. Well, it's going to melt by the time it gets down to Vegas, but.
Oh, that is epic. Yeah, I've had that happen a couple times this week where, Stacy's doctor messaged me, but I thought it was Stacy. So I put a big old smiley face amigo back. And I'm guessing it was the nurse probably. Wrote me back a smiley face. I go, oh, that wasn't my wife. That was her doctor. Whoops.
Yeah, because when it comes up on here, my Android phone, you only get to see a little bit of the words that show up. So it's just like a little message that says more ice cream. Okay, I'll get more ice cream. My hands are full. So,
all right, let's introduce our guest, shall we? Now it's time for Jay's Tiki Talk. Each week, I drink a different rum out of a different tiki mug and try and match it up to my guest. And our guest tonight is Lisa Boland, also from the fair North Canada. How are you, Lisa?
I'm pretty good. Thanks. How are you?
I am good. All right, so last week, my guest was named Stephanie Canada, although she lives in Orlando. So I used my one and only Canadian tiki mug last week, and then I remembered I kind of had one more. So this was a tiki mug loosely from a haunted house bar in Vancouver, British Columbia, and so it's the headstone for both the wife and the husband. It was called Dark Manor Estate, and my buddy was there, and he goes, "Hey, you want a mug?" I said, "Sure." And then they went out of business 2 weeks later.
Wow.
So this is made by one of the big mug companies, Monk Tiki. It is a numbered edition. And so the fact they went out of business, very sad, but made it that much more instantly collectible. And something we're going to talk about with Lisa tonight, in her notes to us, she said she was a late bloomer. So some things get better with age. So in honor of you, I'm drinking 15-year-old rum tonight. Ooh. Because it got better with age. This is rum Barbancourt from Haiti. So cheers.
Cheers to you.
Cheers.
Oh, you are drinking out of the Kona Club mug.
I am.
That's in Oakland, California. Great little bar my buddy Crazy Al built. And Craig, what are you drinking out of or in? Oh, look at that tankard.
Fabulous Las Vegas.
I love it.
Instead of thinking for a change, I do something you probably wouldn't be doing, which is drinking out of something that has its own snout cover. So you can wash it. It's like a stripper version of a mug, just perfect for Vegas. It's just like I've gone to
the drink koozie.
I like
got a glass bottom.
Ooh.
So,
all right, so we're talking to Lisa tonight about she doesn't sell on eBay. Can that be so? It's like, I like to watch TV, but I've never seen NBC. How can that be? So that's what we're talking about tonight. So Lisa, sit back, relax. Craig and I will do our segments, and we'll see you in a little bit.
All right.
All righty, let's get right to it because Craig and I got a lot of good stuff to share. Now it's time for our scores of the week. These are the items that you should be on the lookout for when you're out thrifting. Boom, there it is.
Oh, that's my share. Oh, he said, got a lot of stuff to share. Oh, I don't do a good share. This is one of the things that you always talk about, and we actually listen to you a lot. And one of the things you said is just because other people price something at one amount and you don't, you want to get more for it, try it. This is a Buffy Loot Crate jacket. Now, a couple of problems with it. Number one, we took some great pictures. Look at the third picture or the fourth picture. This would have been a lot better picture to sell it by. But for some reason we forgot and we put the first picture on, which is the front of the jacket as the Buffy logo. But these sell for 30 to 35 bucks. We priced this at 75 with the wrong picture on it. It took an extra month or two because it was up for about 4 months, but we ended up getting full 75 bucks US for it. And we paid, I think, $16 for it.
Nice.
Thank you. Thank you, Peggy. It's terrible. I wish I could do it like Jack did on Will and Grace, but I can't. This is actually picked up last year at eBay Open at one of the thrift stores down in Vegas. We had a couple of different books that we picked up, music books. They were $3.99 a piece. We sold our last one. We still have one Madonna one left, but we sold a Janet Jackson one about a month ago for 50 bucks. And this one also sold for 50 bucks US. And it's literally just the music books. It's just the song books and lyrics for it. Nothing special, but surprised the heck out of me that we got 50 bucks for it.
I just talked about now. Well, one thing I would say, so great job on the angle because it catches people's eye. But man, you didn't show the music at all. Always show at least one shot of the music. You know, because sometimes people are like, is this piano? Is this voice? Is this, you know, so I always give them one sheet of the music so they can kind of see, so they know, because I don't know. I wouldn't know the difference if I was just looking at it.
Richard? Are you taking notes?
And funny, I sold 2 in the last week of the music book. So yes, they are very good things. Not always the fastest, but still good. Oh my, nudity. NC-17.
So had this doll for a whole bunch of years. I talked about it a couple of weeks ago on our Two Dogs Digs Hall Pass on our Tuesday night. And literally, I listed this as a Cindy doll because it's the same model face and body as Cindy. Which is a UK version of Barbie and a Canadian version of Barbie, or Tammy dolls, which again wasn't as popular. But I found this one and I happened to look up and go, oh, she had nipples. So I looked up online and a nippled Cindy doll sold for like $100. The interesting thing was I had the name Tammy Cindy in it. And I had 2 messages from 2 different women who are telling me that's actually a Mary Poppins doll. So take out the word Cindy and put in Mary Poppins. And I went, so it's Mary Poppins with nipples, and they went yes, and this it went for
that's probably the most honest title I've ever seen. Mary Poppins with nipples.
went for $122, and it's actually going to Japan through a freight forwarder in the U.S. And it was, the funny thing was, I actually, when one of the ladies, she showed me the doll, she showed me the outfit. I have the outfit. And I found another one of these dolls in that same box. So these are things I've had for like that I paid $2 4 years ago, part of our profit piles. And that's a nice profit. A couple other weeks ago, we did a Polly Pocket unboxing. So it was 4 baggies we bought at the Value Village. And it was bags of Polly Pocket dolls. And one of them had this thing in it, which was these 3 little bears. Didn't know anything about it. Had to do some digging because they weren't truly Polly Pockets, but they were by the same company that made them, which is Bluebeard. And this was actually a set called Forever Friends. And at the last minute, this went from $80 up to $130. And the thing that was terrible about it from my end, and this is why I kind of wish there was a soft close on eBay, a second person said to me, do you have another one of these? I said, no, I would have gone to $160 had I known I was going to get outbid. Can you cancel that other woman's bid and let me have this one? I said, no. I can't do that. That's not how it works. But it was like, if there'd been a soft close, this could have gone a lot higher. Again, still happy. It's something that was in a bag for $2.99. There were 3 things in it. This one piece went for $130 US. And it's actually also going to Japan through another freight forwarder and through the States. So we've had 2 things that went in 2 weeks through freight forwarders. And then because we have stuff on Etsy, we thought we'd throw something on Etsy here because for Lisa. This is something we did not put onto eBay. We picked up this about a year ago, and I think Rick even messaged you when he found this in a Savers and said, "Is this Whitco?" And you're like, "Nope." And I said, "Well, it looks like Whitco."
And it's always mislabeled as Whitco, but yes, it is not.
So because it wasn't, we didn't label it as Whitco, and it is actually made by Filmar, and we threw it onto Etsy, and it was there for about 6 or 7 months, but we ended up moved it to the $40 price US with free shipping, because on Etsy, if you're $35 or higher, and you do free shipping, it pushes you higher in their search engine. So we looked at that and said, you know what, it's only probably a $30 item. So putting it at 40 with free shipping covers our shipping, and it sold. So it wasn't not a big profit, probably about 20 some odd dollars profit, but still good.
I like it. All right, you need to get your birth control from me on eBay. This is a limited edition DVD. It's actually numbered.
Oh,
and you really thought it was birth control, huh?
You're going, what the hell are you saying?
Yeah, this is number 4,196 of 16,000. So Stacy and I decided we needed more Tiki Mug shelves and less DVD shelves. So I've been selling my DVD collections, going so well. I'm actually going to teach it in the Secret Beach. But this sold for $32 used. And here's a Le Sport Sac Barbie purse bag, whatever you want to call it, satchel. Picked it up. I don't know if Stacy found it or I found it. But picked it up for like $8.99. Sold it for $65 plus shipping. Anytime you can find co-branded stuff. And I wanted to demonstrate that, look outside the box on where to sell. Craig threw in an Etsy. I'm in a bunch of Tiki Mug groups. I know that's a shocker. And then what I do is I scroll through the groups at the end of the night in case someone is selling something or looking to buy something. So this person said, I'm in search of this mug. I happened to see it right before I was falling asleep. I said, oh, I have that mug. And then that was on June 28th. On July 3rd, he posted a picture. Big thanks to Jason for the sale. So direct sale between two people, no fees, much better than any place else. And once you kind of have a standing in a specialty group, like a Tiki Mug group, you can pretty much say, hey, here's the deal. Let's cut this deal right here. Don't worry, you'll get it because I'll get it to you because here's my credentials. I ain't going nowhere. So
this was in a Tiki group?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So people often say, hey, this is the missing mug that I need for this corner of the collection. And I always have extras. So when I can do a straight sale with no platform fees involved, heck yeah. All right. On this mess of a shelf in New York City at Housing Works, which is a chain of thrift stores, there is one big old gem. It's none of the ornaments down below by Hallmark. It is the Back to the Future little snow globe, which they thought was Christmas. That's why it's in the Christmas section, because, of course, there's snow in the snow globe. But nope, that wasn't the case. They had it for $8 whole, and I just shipped it yesterday for $100.
I probably would have bought that just for $8, just because I think it's cool.
Yeah,
but I would never have thought that it would have gone for that much money.
And some have gone for a little more, but it's been an awfully quiet week. And the buyer and I went back and forth for quite a while. He finally hit me with 100. I'm like, that's a good return on $8 plus shipping. I am very happy.
So the only thing I hate about that, and that's the one thing I hate about, is when you go to estate malls like that, or antique malls, is it's like the price tag was on the bottom, right? The $8. Yeah. So I'm always like sitting there like some old fool crawling around the floor, trying to look up under the shelves to see if I can read what the price tag is on it. Because like there's never somebody around when I want to find the price tag on something.
Yeah.
If there is someone, I'll go, how much is that? They'll take it and lift it up and go, that is $8,400. Like, oh crap, why did I try and find you? That's
I'll put that back down.
I'm lying on the floor looking like I'm having some kind of seat, and I'm not. I'm just trying to like look up and go I need to have like little shoes with mirrors on them. Well, no, that wouldn't work.
Oh, dirty man. Now it's time for CD and cassette scores of the week. And as always, we start out with Flippin Cassettes first. All right, wouldn't be a week without a couple good cassette sales. 100% genuine. Now, this was listed for 2 years on Amazon, was listed for a day and a half on eBay. So just because you can't sell on Amazon doesn't mean you can't catch customers. Boom, $18. I paid, I think, $1 or $2 for it. But even better, I paid $6 for this Frank Zappa cassette, and I sold it for $23 on Amazon. If you aren't flipping cassettes yet, what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? There's so much money. I know it's weird. I know it's bizarre to sell cassettes in 2020, but who am I to say no to $23 and $18 for a used cassette?
Never mind. I'm just going to flip it.
Where's my... Just when I think I got a handle on all my little intros. There we go. And now from Flippin Cassettes to Flippin CDs. I'll get it someday. All right, so this is a Cameo Word Up maxi single, and it was a VCD, which is a video CD, which is way before like DVDs and stuff. But it had 4 tracks on it and the video for Word Up. And the reason I wanted to showcase this $20 sale, it's not that big of a sale, but this CD was absolutely trash, wasn't worth anything. Unless you happen to have one of these little fine handy dandy machines on your shipping table. It does cost a lot of money, but I've already earned this money back easily because I turned that Cameo from being worth nothing by running through the cleaning up machine, and it turned into $20. And I've done that over and over and over and over. So if you're going to do a lot of CDs, I recommend investing. All right, here's a funny one, Craig. So sell this used Lost in Space for $28. I spent $10 on it. And when my assistant, Kelly, pulled all the stuff for the day to ship, she was holding 2 Lost in Space. And I go, why you got 2 of them? She goes, well, when I went to pull, there was a used one and a new one. And I wasn't sure. So I thought I'd bring them both, ship the right one, and put the wrong one back. Well, look what sold the next day. Now, these both have been listed for months. This sold 24 hours later. So the funny thing was the sealed one I picked up for $6 and sold for $49. So keep your eyes peeled for Lost in Space stuff.
That's another one of those things where it's you didn't think somehow you touched it, but you can't purposely touch it to try to make it sell.
No.
You just Rick was looking for something the other day and he pulled some stuff off of the shelf. And one of the things he pulled was a Rizzolian Isles puzzle that I said, oh, that thing, that's been listed for 1.5 years. The next day it sold. And it wasn't. That's just.
All right. So I know this is your favorite, Witchblade Sexual Panic. I know that's your favorite. But it's one of the things I teach in my courses on Flippin CDs is anime. And picked up this for $4 and sold it for $35 on Amazon. Now, I want to point out this letter I got. So Craig and I were chit-chatting about Prince just a little bit before we went live. This is the Gold Experience. April 22nd, policy warning from Amazon. Legit from Amazon, not like a fake. And there's the ASIN. Now, if you don't know what an ASIN is, ASIN is the Amazon barcode internally for them. And it says, we've removed some of your listings because we received a report from the rights owner that may infringe the right owner's copyright. The listings removed are at the bottom of this message. And if you want to talk to somebody, reach out to brand protection at PaisleyParkEnterprises.com. So somehow Paisley Park convinced Amazon that this wasn't a legit release anymore, which it was put out by Warner Brothers. It is a legit release. Silly. The next day, I got another one, Craig, for a different print CD. The reason I share this is because they said they pulled it, and I went and looked, and it was pulled. Well, I sold this on Amazon yesterday, even though it was pulled. Oh. Thank God I was lazy, and I had 2. I hadn't relisted them anywhere yet.
So have they pulled other Prince ones from you, or just these 2?
Two different titles, but how did it go from you can't sell this and we pulled yours to how'd I sell one? It wasn't listed anymore. Okay, if you're on Amazon, have you ever had that problem? If you watch after the fact, let me know below. Or if you're watching right now, how did Amazon pull my listing for a rights violation and then it sells 3 months later? Now,
and where did that one go with $20 shipping? That had to have gone overseas.
They needed it second day air. So here's the thing. The 2 that I had to pull were sitting here, and not that I'm lazy, I'm just busy. I never got to relist them. They've sat here since April 23rd. Thank God they were still here, because now if I would have had to cancel and explain it, they wouldn't believe me. So weird. So weird. But that's not all. That is not. But wait, there's more. Hold up. It's time for Stacy's Budget Bin Scores. All right, Stacy strikes again in a good way. This was the Lurkers. I have no clue who the Lurkers are, and neither did she. But when she scanned it for $1, sold it for $24 on eBay. And this is her favorite band, Sanctify the Darkness.
The name of the Lurkers CD was Greatest Hit. Not Hits. Greatest Hit.
I didn't even notice that because
Greatest Hit. That's all.
Man, I listened to it too. I never even noticed that. That's even more epic. But this one was $10. Not a huge return. Oops. But we paid $1. So Stacy stuff always adds very nicely to our bottom line.
I just see on the side, discounters are saying they think Amazon's removing ASINs created by sellers.
It wasn't. It's the same ASIN. That's why I showed it. The same ASIN that sold was the same ASIN they pulled. So, yeah, explain that to me. That don't make no dang sense at all. Oops. Whoops. I want to give away a CD course. My bad. So sorry. Whoops. That's what I forgot to do that. All right. So I've had Flippin CDs #1, Flippin CDs #2, Flippin Cassettes. We're working on records next. So I like to give away one during the show. Please, if you've taken the course, if you're in the secret beach, please let somebody else win. You don't know how many times the winner's been like, oh, I already took that course. I appreciate you wanting to answer, but let someone who hasn't taken the course win. All right. Are you ready for the question? Drum roll, please. I was on a game show with one of Frank Zappa's kids. Which one of them cost me the chance at $10,000? So I've talked about this before, so we'll see if you pay attention. But, of course, he only has so many kids. So the first one to, I would assume, guess right.
You can't.
Sabrina, you didn't miss any. You're in the secret beach, Sabrina. You didn't miss any. They're all there for you.
Rick Strutt wants to answer. I'm like, no. You're not allowed to answer, Rick.
All right. So the first person with the right answer is Nicholas Capra. And yes, Dweezil Zappa cost me the chance at $10,000. We were on the $10,000 pyramid. I needed to get one more answer right to go to the pyramid to try for $10,000. And he was trying to get me to say camera. And he looked at me and went, camera. I'm like, you dick. All right, Nicholas, send me a message on Facebook and I will get you set up. And Angela's answer was Jerry Garcia. All right, if you did not win and if you've not taken the course and if you're not in the secret beach, head over to flippincds.com. Right now, we're reworking the website. Nadine's working on some new art for me. We're actually upping the price a little bit. So now's the time to get it at the discounted rate still. So get over there, flippincds.com. And now it's... Now it's time for our duds of the week. Do not let our mistakes be yours. This looks cool. This is a dud.
It's a dud for a couple of reasons. I actually bought it at an auction about 2 years ago, and it was very white, but it looked like it still had some dirt on it, and I couldn't figure out what to do with it. So I took it to a dry cleaner, and the dry cleaner washed the color all out.
Oh,
so I think if you click on a couple of the other pictures, it's like,
oh yeah,
see how watered out it is.
Holy crap!
The thing is, yeah, I thought it was so cool that it was like, oh my god. Now the funny thing was, Fleetwood was not a big name. It was actually a television manufacturer in Southern Ontario, so there wasn't that kind of big grab that I was hoping when I bought it. But I think I ended up paying like $15 to $20 for it, and like $10 to end up getting it dry clean. So watch when you're the lesson that I learned from that is watch what you're actually. I still use that dry cleaner, Nalo. They're really, really good. That was just the it. But just watch when you're looking at stuff like that. If you have to do want to do it, or whether you want to actually leave it up to the buyer to do. And we often do that with some things, with some fabric, with some toys even, and things like that. We say, this could use a cleaning. This could use a hairstyling. This could use some dusting. Like, because we don't want to degrade it, or whatever that word is, denigrate it downwards. And that's what happened with this. So that was why it became a flop. This became a flop this week. Why? Well, it's a great thing. We tore apart a United Airlines Barbie plane. I sold the plane for like $30 just with nothing inside it, but I took all the pieces out and I put each side of the seats, the left side and the right side, for sale for $10. And I put them up about 3 months ago, and the left side sold, and Rick sent the right side. So we get a picture yesterday from the person saying, I ordered the left side. Here's the seat, and you can see the armrest is on the other side. And so I said, oh, sorry, Rick. And he went, no, I sent the right one. And I showed her the picture. I sent the wrong one. So we had to send them the second one, not getting the other one returned. But in essence, we ended up not making any money on it because we're sending the second one for another $5.
There you go.
Watch what you're sending.
All right, I've shown this before. Why I bought these? No one uses mouse pads anymore. We all have, a lot of us have the trackpad, so you don't need a mouse pad anymore. And I bought 8 of these. I still have one left. and I've had them for like 3 years. So I got one left. If you want it, make me an offer. $10, it's yours. Make it go away. I'm tired of looking at them. Whoops. And this, I don't even know why I bought this. I mean, Honolulu is a great place. If you're on the North Shore of Oahu, it's a great little town. But what a boring shirt. I don't know why I think I only paid $1. So I guess the profit was good, but still, holy boring shirts, Batman. I mean, there's just nothing. Honolulu, it's a Hurley shirt, Honolulu. On the back, it says North Shore, and that's it. That is it. I'm like, wow. So when someone said, I'll give you 15, I'm like, yes, please. Let's make this.
Where Puff the Magic Dragon went to?
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know why I bought that. Nope, not a good one. Now it's time for Where in the World Did Our Stuff Go? If you are not shipping internationally, you are leaving out 7.3 billion with a B potential customers. Good luck.
Oh, this one? It's easy. Interesting. This was actually a sale on Depop. So it was about 6 weeks ago, I think. Jason, you did the show with your mom, your Thrifty After 50 on the Sunday, and let's get on to Depop. And I was on that. I was watching you on that show, and I mentioned that I had signed up 2 years ago and had not listed a thing. And I started listing on it. I've now sold 9 things on Depop. And this week, or about 2 weeks ago, this actually sold to someone in Russia, and it's a baseball cap, a trucker cap that actually had been on Etsy. It had been on eBay. I have tried to get rid of it on Facebook. I thought it was so cool because it's got a picture of a chow dog, and it's Florida oranges, chow oranges. It's just funny to me that it sold to someone in Russia. So it's going to Vladivostok.
All right. So you had Vladivostok, Florida. All right. Here we go. I love selling Ouija boards. You know where I love selling them even better?
Transylvania?
Pretty close. Romania, the birthplace of Vlad the Impaler. Now, if you don't know who Vlad the Impaler was, that is where we get Dracula. So to sell a Ouija board is always fun to me. To sell a Ouija board to Romania, I listened to it today too. Craiova, Romania. Oh man, I just picture them summoning Vlad. Hello, Vlad. Come in from the other side, Vlad. But again, you never know where someone needs a Ouija board or a hat. So list your stuff everywhere. Customers are dying to buy it. Now it's time for You've Got to Be Ship Me. What to do and what not to do when it comes to shipping. I can do your tip. I can figure this graphic out. See, each week Craig gives us the tips and then Debbie makes the graphics. So it's always a little surprise to Craig, but this one I've got.
Oh, okay. It took me a minute. It was actually check with people that you know who are also resellers to see if they have extra items that they don't want anymore or they aren't needing or using. Sometimes people have peanuts they don't want, or in our case, we actually ended up buying some mailing tubes. And it happened that when I saw them, we needed the mailing tubes last December, and we ended up finding a great deal on about 150 of them. Well, we use 50 of them, but I don't know when I'm going to use the other 100. So I'm going to actually offer them out to my local group, the local craft group, to people in Toronto to say, does anybody want to pick these up? And they can pay the same, like 50 cents a piece that I paid for them instead of $2. So check around with other people that are in your network, because you may end up being able to say, I don't like that mannequin anymore. I don't need this. And you might be able to find some great stuff for shipping.
Yep, I got some lights. I'll be good and get rid of that way soon. All right, this bothers me to no end. I see this all the time in all my Tiki Mug groups. To go back to my Tiki Mug groups, I got this box the other day, and when people post pictures of these type of boxes, like this is what my mug came in, they're like, them son of a bitch USPS, FedEx, UPS drivers, and I'm like, no. 99% of the time, if your box comes crushed, that means one of two things. The box was already compromised, or there wasn't enough packing material. And that is 100% of the time the fault of the person shipping, not the shipping service. Have shipping services destroyed my boxes? Yes, but so infrequently over 20 years, I can probably count on two hands. If your box is this crushed, the shipper did a bad job one way or another.
Like to get it to go down that much, like it has. Obviously, it's like there was empty space inside it. Right.
So stop, please. If you see people trashing the post office, trashing FedEx, blaming them, tell them to F off. And tell them fragile stickers do not mean kick me. I have got plenty of friends who are postal employees, and that's just an urban myth that is just really hurtful to people in that work for the post office, that work for FedEx, that work for UPS. So teach the sellers how to ship better. Thank you.
F off does not mean fragile.
Yes. Thank you. I will get off my soapbox now. Now it's time for the Thrifty Tips of the Week. Little tips and tricks to help you out when you are outsourcing.
Okay, I was going to say, it's a box. That's not me. This is just a tip that I've actually done. I've talked about it various times because I love the baggy wall. And when last year when we were down in eBay Open, I was part of Jason's thrifting classes that he holds, and one of the things I was talking about was the baggy wall. And I have a few rules, and one of my rules on the baggy wall is if there's one on the wall, it's probably not all. It's my own little sort of mantra I say in my head, because when you see something up there that's a little different, or you go, wait a second, why is there there might be, and it's neat, especially if it's neat, you go, I got to take a little harder look at what's been put behind. And the reason I did it is actually, and I'm not sure if Sherry is in the group right now on the side, but Sherry Gall had actually watched our Polly Pocket show. And earlier this week, she was at a thrift store and found a baggie. And in the baggie was a Polly Pocket. And the first thing I said to her was, look at the rest of that wall, girl. Because you never know. And a lot of times that's how I found my 4 that I sold for over $500 by double checking every single thing inside there. So that's the thing I want you to think of when you get to that baggy wall. If there's one on the wall, it's probably not all.
I love it. All right, so I bought this in Atlanta, and the tip is look over your stuff, or maybe not, because I didn't notice the handle at the top of this backpack was tore off of one side and almost tore off the other side. And so we got home and I only paid $4 for this Vera Bradley. And Stacy goes, oh, look at the damage on this handle. I'm like, crap. So what I did was I cleanly, the best I could, took it off. If you look right there, that's the little remnants of the handle. But of course, I described it. Top handle was removed, and I still sold it for $56. So I think, not looking it over, because I probably would have left it had I seen the damaged handle, $56 for $4. So, but the real tip is if you have something that's damaged, you see after the fact, if you can fix it or alter it to make it okay, removing a piece, if it is not important to the object, not a bad thing all the time. It's nice to have that top handle, but not 100% needed.
Angelique made a comment about that baggy wall would have made her OCD checking every bag. It's really not as hard. Remember, what you've done is if you found that one thing, that's what you can quickly scan up and down for. About a year ago, this happened to me where I found some vintage 1940s glass door handles. And I saw one bag here and one bag there. So then literally I just went glass handle, glass handle, glass handle, glass handle. And I ended up getting about 17 of them for $2 a piece that I'm flipping in the neighborhood of $50 to $100 a handle. So, but that's what I wasn't looking at every bag. I was going, I know what I'm looking for now. So that's an easier way than to become like every bag has to be looked at.
Now it's time for our online selling tips of the week. Doesn't matter if you're selling on Depop, Etsy, Mercari, eBay, or Poshmark. Here's some little tips and tricks to help you out when selling.
Is this my tip?
Yes.
Jeez.
That's why I'm leaning in, because I want to see if you can figure it out what your tip was.
Don't sell cars and planes and submarines.
You just gave her the tip less than 24 hours ago.
Don't sell cars, planes, or submarines. But books and beanies and mugs are nice. What the? I don't know what my tip is.
I asked if you wanted a script.
I know, and I didn't want to look at what I said.
Here's your tip. List what you know first, then move upward and onward.
Oh, that's a little tricky. Because how did she know I don't know a lot about submarines? I'm a submarine collector. No, yes, that's what it is. It's all Rick is left. Rick just said going down much. Sorry. That was Rick, not me. I was just repeating.
Sorry, Lisa, we're getting to you. I promise.
Sorry, Lisa. So that's what it is. It's a lot of people we see brand new starting out. I see posts even on the Thrifty business group. I see posts even, and sometimes in Secret Beach, I see some posts in the craft group, and somebody says, I'm new, and what about this? I've never sold like Tommy Hilfiger before. It's like, well, wait a second. Start with what you know. Get a little used to stuff before you start trying to branch into areas you have no clue about. Don't start off the bat going, I'm going to sell Polly Pockets, and I've never sold a Polly Pocket before. Yes, Paul knows it's like it normally does go off the rails with me. But yes, that it helps when I'm looking at something and it's kind of like this weird version of Concentration from years ago. You remember that game show?
Oh, yeah.
You have to look at book clothes minus mug equals book clogs plus beanies, and yes equals sell what you know.
Debbie said, I hope he understands this graphic, but if not, it's funny. She told me that. All right.
Good job.
Speaking of selling what you know, it kind of ties right into mine, which is funny because we don't discuss our tips ahead of time. I bought this Star Wars. They call them tiki, but they're really not. But it's a tiki bowl with a little Chewbacca and Han Solo shot glass for $100 last April. And then I caught wind they're selling between $400 and $500 online. And Stace goes, goodbye, Millennium Falcon. But then I caught wind, and my tip is, if you're into something you know, going back to kind of what Craig said, pay attention, ears to the ground. They're re-releasing this in the fall. But right now it's selling $400 to $500. I had it in multiple places. Dude offered me $400. Boom, gone. I made a couple $100, and guess what? I'll get a fresh one in a couple months.
For a lot less.
Yeah. So capitalize when you can. I used it one time. I said used once. We only made one drink in it, cleaned it out nice, and I put used once. $400. Okay, in our last segment, whoops. Now it's time for Unseasonably Sold. What did you sell out of season? Perfect music for the mug and your graphic.
It's Halloween. It's June. It's sold. I'm done. Hi, Lisa.
All right, I can do that too.
This was on Etsy, by the way.
This was a vest that was all ski resorts. And if my assistant Kelly's watching, Kelly, where are the pictures of the inside of the vest that someone lined, where they cut up a raincoat and lined this vest so they could ski in it? And I got it at Buffalo Exchange for $12. And it sold in July. Where we at? In July for $64. Someone thought, you know what? You know what I need when it's 110 out? I need a ski vest.
Well, those patches at Buffalo Exchange for $12, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, it was. It was. And the fact that someone, and they were so nice on the inside, I was hoping to show you pictures. They made pockets and everything. That was cool. All right, quick commercials, and then we'll get right in there. Okay, if you're in the Secret Beach, tomorrow night's Beachcomber Store Review is Kimberly Mack. Tune in tomorrow night, 8 o'clock East Coast, 5 o'clock West Coast, Secret Beach. Bye. Okay, Mom and I this week are doing how to add a video to your eBay listing. Now, you might say to yourself, haven't you guys already done that? And I might say back to you, yes, but the process has kind of changed. And when we did it, especially on iPhones, it was different. So it's different. So I'm going to be listing this lava lamp this weekend. So I will show you very slowly, step by step, how to add a video to your eBay listing. And I just found out Etsy is putting videos in their listings now. So you should be, when it's something that moves, sings, dances, use a video. And we're going to be talking about that. What?
You can add a video to Depop.
Yep. And now it's time for close encounters of the thrifty kind. Now, you might have seen this in the thrifting board, but in case you didn't, my folks followed the signs to a sale in a barn today. And there's something very unique about that barn. My dad had an amazing thrifty encounter. Big Daddy will be on Selling Past Your Expiration Date, being thrifty over 50 on Sunday to share his thrifty encounter. That is 7 o'clock East Coast, 4 o'clock West Coast. Next week, here's what I need. Next week, I've been doing these things. We're calling them board meetings where I have a like demographic of sellers come talk about their business and stuff like that. We've had single moms. We've had Star Wars nerds. And next week, I want to do Black business owners, Black online business owners. I would like 6 guests on the panel. I have 3, maybe 4 right now. I'd like a couple more. So if you are a Black-owned online business, Etsy, eBay, your own, Shopify, I don't care what it is. If you'd like to talk and tell your story, I would love to have you on next week. So leave a message below here. If you know how to find me on Facebook, send me a message. I would love to include you in your story on our panel next week. And the way the panels work is just kind of sit around a campfire and talk about your business, talk about how you got started, and look, we're in weird times right now. And I think it would be good to promote Black-owned businesses. So that's what we're talking about next week. And then next Saturday in the Secret Beach, I am teaching about DVDs. So tune in, and we're drinking cocktails after. Okay, that's it. All right, let's get her in here. And now it's time for the Thrifty Business special guest of the week. Hey, Lisa Boland, how the hell are you?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
I am dandy. Let's get this out of the way. I got to say, though, I love the fact that I had this black and white picture of you. I kind of like it so much. I want all my guests to give me a black and white photo because I said to Nadine, I said, make the art colorful. And I think it really pops. No one else does it this way. I really think it's cool as hell. So thank you.
Thank you.
I'm going to start making guests take pictures of themselves in black and white because it so captures the moment.
From a photo booth at a friend's wedding. So.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I won't even mention what I did at a photo booth at a friend's wedding. Oh my. Yes.
Oh my.
Yeah. Me and 3 other male adults turned into 12-year-old boys.
Oh dear.
Yeah. Oops. All right. So Lisa. Lisa.
Excuse me.
I'm shocked. I gotta say, I'm just shocked because we don't usually jump right into the subject, but you've sold online for 14 years. How has it never tickled your fancy to try eBay, the granddaddy of online selling?
I just haven't gotten around to it yet. I won't. I've just gotten into a groove with Etsy and Kijiji and enjoying those. Facebook Marketplace I've been doing well with. And someday I might branch out into eBay, but no promises.
Now, Craig, Lisa did tell us that she is a late bloomer on things, and she gave us examples. So before we hear from you, Lisa, Craig, how old were you when you learned how to drive?
16 in one day.
But were you driving before that?
No.
Okay. I was driving at 12. Thanks, Mom and Dad. I was driving at 12, so much so that when I went to get my driving lessons, the guy goes, "You already know how to drive." I go, "Yeah." And so we went garage sailing, me and the instructor. Okay, so Craig was 16. I was 12. Lisa, how old were you when you learned how to drive?
39.
Which begs the question, why? Not the why you waited so long, but why at 39 did you think, I probably should learn how to drive now?
My parents are getting older and my stepmother got cancer. And I thought, well, if anything happens to any of them, somebody's going to need to drive them somewhere. So I figured it was time to get off my ass and learn how to drive. So I did. And then it took me another 3 years to go out and buy a car.
So that begs the question. I mean, I don't know about you, Craig, but when I was a teenager, the second I had my license and I could drive legally, I was gone. Like, you would never find me. You know, once I had a car and a license, I was out of there.
I always had a boyfriend with a car.
Oh, that would do it. You know, you hear that from people who live in the cities. Like, you know, people in New York City, they don't learn how to drive a car unless it's legal. But yeah, that when you said that, that shocked me. And the other thing, the other note you gave us, how old were you when you got married for the first time?
47.
Yes. Now, how long did you date Doug before you married him?
Just over 2 years.
Okay. So
we met on my 45th birthday.
So it wasn't one of those where like we dated for 17 years and then finally got married.
Nope.
It's like Rick and I, we did. We were together 16 years, then we got married.
Well, that's slightly different.
So funny. Linda says, are you a city girl, Lisa?
Yeah, I guess so. I live in Winnipeg, which is a small city. But yes, I'm definitely not country.
So Mary says I was driving a tractor at 9. So my grandfather died when I was 11 years old. And my grandmother and grandfather lived about 3 miles from where I lived in my folks' house. And once my grandfather died, someone had to mow the lawn. So I would drive the Cub Cadet tractor 3.5 miles on major roads at 12 years old, stop at the gas station and pick up smokes for my dad with a note he gave me. Talk about different times. Angela says, you don't even look 47 now. What the heck?
I'm 52.
All right. So, you know, the other thing I found interesting, besides the fact you're a late bloomer and you don't sell on eBay, you are really tied to the name of your business, even though it's giving you a bunch of headaches. Here, hang on. People want to see what. So let me give you full shot there. Bitchin' Kitchen.
Yep.
Now I like it, but what are the headaches with that name?
Well, I set up a Facebook page right off the hop, and no problems. It's got the name right in it, and every so often Facebook sends me an ad credit. Advertise on Facebook, promote your product. So I try, and they go, "Oh no, that's obscene. You can't advertise your business on Facebook." But they are hosting my page without an issue, but I'm not allowed to promote it. And yes, I used to advertise on a blog, and the gal that ran the blog, it was a very successful blog, so I wanted to advertise on it. Ads were cheap, and they brought in a lot of traffic. And yeah, the gal didn't like my name, so she actually altered my ads and changed the picture, like sort of shrank the word bitchin' and enlarged the rest so you couldn't even see it. And kudos to her. She actually sent me a message through Instagram last year and apologized.
Wow.
Said she had no right to do that, and that she actually thought it was good that I stuck by my guns. And as soon as I found out she had changed my ad, I said, forget it. Give me my money back. We're done. And
they'd be like, she doesn't like dogs. How about 2 cats cuddle?
Yeah, it was, I mean, I get it. If you don't want to have the word bitchin' on your product or on your blog, that's fine. But she actually sought me out and asked me to advertise. It's not like I just submitted my ad.
See, now the thing is, if your name had been like the kitchen bitch,
yeah,
I could kind of see how that somebody might go, oh, well, that's like, but bitchin' is cool. Like, it's like, so why someone would actually just take the in off the bitch and say, no, that's
and the fact that the female dog is a bitch, that word kind of gets a pass because it's a legit word that isn't a swear word. And so it's weird that they hooked on Facebook's like, nope.
Yeah. And Gmail. My Gmail business address is bkitchenkitchen@gmail.com. I tried bitchin'. No, you can't have that.
Maybe you put a dash between every letter so it's super long.
Yeah.
B dash, I dash, T dash, C dash.
Yeah. Be kitchen. So,
yeah.
And then of course for Etsy, it's too long. You're only allowed 20 letters. So I had to drop the N in the middle. So it's just Bitchin' Kitch Kitchen on Etsy. So I figured that made more sense than dropping the last N, because that wouldn't make sense at all. Bitchin' Kitch Kitcha. So yeah.
So was that your name from right out the gate from 14 years ago?
No, about 10 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Craig, were you guys always the same, or had you changed over the years?
We were Bad Dog Collectibles for like 30 years. And then 3 years ago, when Rick decided, after me indoctrinating him through all of the stuff, and he finally realized that I wasn't going to stop, that he would become part of the business, he said, well, I said, I can't be Bad Dog Collectibles anymore because I'm Bad Dog and you're Good Dog. So he actually came up with Two Dogs, and then we just came up with Two Dogs Digs from that. So that's only been our name or moniker for about 2.5 years now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think I had 3 or 4 early ones. I've been doing it for 20 years now. I remember like JT's Music or something like that. I remember a bunch of different things, and then it finally settled. I wanted to do a Tiki Pug, and someone had it on eBay, and they never used it. But of course, you can't. And I could have done dashes and crap, but I sell a lot of music, so aw.
This one did.
Oops. I just took Craig out. I meant to make him big. Aw.
Oh, who's that?
This is Boomer. She just came up the stairs.
Hi, Boomer.
I don't know why, other than the fact that she may decide to pee on the carpet right now.
Hello, Melissa. Good to see you. So when you started all these years ago, and I don't know the history of Etsy because I don't use it as much, although I had an Etsy sale I showed everybody, you guys. I'll be sharing next week. Was Etsy around 14 years ago?
Yes.
Okay.
They were around before I started using it, and it started out as just crafts. And then they added in vintage later. And so now it's vintage, which to Etsy is 20 years or older. Excuse me. So anything from 2000 or earlier is considered vintage on Etsy. Anything that you've made yourself, like you can't, go buy somebody else's handcrafted stuff and sell it on Etsy unless it's more than 20 years old. And craft supplies. So I sell lots of things like sewing patterns and needlework kits and craft kits and that kind of stuff. People sell tons of beads. Anything you could make something out of, you can sell on Etsy.
What made you start selling 14 years ago? What was the impetus to be like, hey, I should probably sell?
I had way too much stuff.
Craig and I don't have that problem.
Yeah, right.
No, Craig, no, we don't have that problem.
No, I'm looking over over Lisa's shoulders at the filing cabinets, and I know what's in those. So she has too much stuff.
Everything's sort of out of the way right now. We had a pipe burst in the back corner a couple of weeks ago, so now we're dealing with the insurance company.
I thought they moved because they're normally
moved into the corners, and luckily nothing got damaged other than the ceiling. And but yes, my 9,000 sewing patterns are just fine. So
is that how many you really have? 9,000?
No,
oh,
3,000.
That's still a big number, but I was like 9,000?
No, just being facetious. But no, I've got about 3,000, and only about 400 of them are listed. So
our guest from last week, Stephanie, is in the chat. So Lisa, how do you feel about Etsy opening up the gates to large corporations?
Not happy. They basically get through the back door of saying that they're production partners. And that the stuff is handmade, which it isn't. It's, made in sweatshops in China and, things like $1 phone cases and that kind of crap. And it's definitely not handmade and it's not vintage. But here's my question though. Do you think perchance it brings more eyes to your stuff? No, I don't think people that are searching for that stuff are looking for vintage or sewing patterns.
I think Stephanie's calling you. Stephanie, how many do you have? I think she's calling you out.
Yeah.
It's a pattern war. I could do that with CDs. I certainly couldn't do it.
So Lisa, when you're talking about the things like those phone cases, those are they're not listed under vintage. They're listed
as handmade.
Okay. Because that's the one thing that you and I have chatted about a little bit is with Etsy too, is it's got very distinct sort of audiences to it. And that's one of the things that I found interesting because I haven't been on Etsy for that long. And you've actually been teaching me more and more to try and get on there and how to use Etsy a lot better because I had been using it badly and going, why is no one buying my stuff? And it's like, Craig, you have no tags. And I was like, what's a tag? Things along those lines. But that's one thing is I think there's a lot of people who may go there for the crafting side, but then there's other people who are literally going there for that vintage side. And it's actually, I think in some ways it's actually usurped in some cases eBay in that kind of world to some degree, because we've actually put stuff on that Lisa's told us to try and put on Etsy over eBay and doubled the money we're getting from it on Etsy.
Okay, so let's flip it. Have you said, Lisa, get on eBay for other things?
Yes, I've been saying that for 2 years to her.
Okay,
so,
just want to make sure. Stephanie did reply. She has 5,000, 3,000 are listed. So you guys can have a battle royale.
Now, the thing I will say, though, that one Lisa has started just recently signed up for Depop. So she is expanding what she's doing.
Yeah. It's that COVID-19. Yes.
All right. So, Lisa, you sent me a picture there today of an amazing piece of a vintage piece.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I'll definitely cross list that. And I said, get it on eBay. And you still. I'm trying to find it here. Where the hell is it? I gotta find. Oh, there it is. Here's a link. Okay. So, yeah, let's show this real quick. Because this is one of those pieces where if I had it, I would definitely put it on every single platform because it's cool, you know? And the same eyes on Etsy are not the same eyes on eBay. They're not the same eyes on Depop. So you might as well, look, it was a $4 item. Yeah, put it where you think it's best. You got a $200 original 1994 Beastie Boys t-shirt. Get it everywhere because it's awesome.
I've got it on Etsy, Poshmark, and I've got it ready to go on Depop once I figure out how Depop works.
And you got it ready to go on eBay too, right?
No. I've had an account with eBay for probably 15 years, but I've never, ever listed anything. I've just bought things.
If you're a Beastie Boys fan at all and you have Apple Plus, as that was called, they have the eBay Beastie Boys documentary. It's so good, but
I've watched it already. Yeah,
but it will make you cry.
I'm not a fan.
Not a fan of crying or the Beastie Boys?
The Beastie Boys.
Oh. Okay, well, show's over. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you later.
I'll just join you, Lisa, and we'll talk about Stockake and Waterman for the rest of the night.
But this is a cool shirt. How long have you had this in your profit piles?
I think 2 years.
Yeah, I think this is Grailed also.
Oh, I don't know if Grailed is in Canada. I'll have to look them up.
Oh yeah, we always got to remember our friends to the north might not have all the same options as we do down here. Oh, more doggies.
Oh.
This one's not flying. Rick just walked.
You have flying doggies.
My face. Hey, baby.
She was at the bottom of the stairs.
She was at the bottom of the stairs wandering where we were.
Oh.
All right, so what is it going to take for me to get you to list one thing on eBay? I'll hold your hand because I will say of all the platforms, I've talked about this before, eBay is the most complicated when it comes to the behind the scenes stuff, the shipping and all that, because it wasn't built all at once where Mercari was, even though you guys can't use Mercari. But it's a good example because when it's kind of new, they can build it super easy and quick. eBay's like an old casino in Vegas. It starts here, and then they have this tower, and this tower, and this tower, and this tower. And next thing you know, the underground's a maze that's like you need a map to get from where you check in for work and actually go to work. eBay's the same way. So I would love to help you list maybe this t-shirt on eBay.
Angela Ritchie says you should give me $5,000.
Wait, what? For what reason? And where am I getting...
To list something on eBay.
To list something on eBay. I haven't been able to get her
Angela
to do
is in the process of moving. I'm going to guess the heat has gotten to her brain. I don't even...
The thing is, though, even if Lisa's not listing on eBay yet, and again, you do use eBay for research.
Yes, I do.
Right?
That's not allowed.
And then I drag the price up and put it on Etsy.
And I thought that was actually really interesting, though, too, that somebody because even for somebody who's listing on Etsy, just to think about other ways to think about research, and they maybe if they hadn't thought, I don't know about eBay, it's actually a great place for somebody who is listing on Etsy to try and get some understanding about pricing and how things have been selling. And then in some cases, double it and put it on Etsy. So,
all right. So Lori said, why? I mean, there's got to be a reason. Because, if you'd only been selling for 6 months or a year, that's one thing. 14 years. Yeah. You haven't tried the granddaddy yet.
I mean, 14 years was Kijiji, which is probably the easiest. You need one crappy picture. It's local. It's like Virage Sale or Offer Up. Actually, it's very similar to Craigslist, except it's prettier. It's got nicer pictures, better layout, and it's actually owned by eBay.
Yeah, so funny enough, she actually does work on eBay, kind of. And funny, we had Kijiji for a hot minute down here, and then it disappeared. Yeah,
it's all over Canada and Ireland, of all places. Their head office is in Ireland. But yeah, we're on kijiji.ca. So, but I'm a late adapter, and I don't like new things. I get in a rush.
eBay's new
20 years, I find something that I'm comfortable with and I stick with it. So,
and I totally get that, because I have 10 listings on Etsy and over 1,000 on eBay. So I absolutely get that. But some products like
Craig, what do you do?
How do I get you to have 100 listings on Etsy, sir?
I'm getting there. Look, I showed you guys a listing. I put it on Etsy last week and it sold. So I'm getting there. I'm adding more.
Yeah.
But some things will just do better on eBay and have a bigger chance at a bigger audience, I do believe.
I also put it on my my Instagram, the t-shirt. So I figure if it doesn't sell soon, then I will absolutely.
All right, let's pick a date. I'm going to stick it on my wall. Let's pick a date, and then I'm going to help you list it if it don't sell.
Okay.
What do you say? What's the date today? Is a month too short?
Sorry?
Is a month too short?
2021 is too short.
21.
All right, let's give you 3 months. If it's not sold by September 30th, how's that sound?
Okay.
All right. I'm writing it down. Lisa, September 30th. And then I won't write anything else. And then mid-August, I'll go, what's this Lisa September 30th note on my desk?
Means you're coming to Winnipeg. Yeah.
I would love to. I would absolutely love to.
But right now, Lisa, how many items do you have listed on Etsy?
639, I think, or 630. I sold something a few hours ago, so I'm either 638 to 640. I can't remember which.
And one of the nice things that I did see, and it's something, again, you taught me about on the Etsy side of things to try and get me expanding from the eBay world, was as you get followers to your store, I follow your store, for example, and now when I sign on to Etsy, when you're listing new things, they're popping up right on the top of my feed every single day. I sign on and I see Bitch and Kitchen has added this. And that's one of the things, there's various things that I love about each of the platforms. And again, you have to learn them. And I'm like you with eBay. That's my whole thing, was learning about tagging and things like that. So it's we're comfortable with one area and trying to go, okay, I know this. And it's kind of I know this like the back of my hand. And even trying to sign on, if someone was brand new right now signing on to eBay, that will be a challenge for them to look at. But if you've been on Etsy for a while and you start getting, it rolls. I know how to do this. I know how to look up tags and things along those lines. Tags were one of the most important things that you told me about that I had no clue about. Can you explain for anybody who's not on Etsy, what exactly is the tag thing?
You get 13 tags, which are keywords. So if your title is Kona Club Tiki Mug, for your tag, you could put ceramic tiki. What is this called, Jason? Does he have a name?
His name is Ku, K-U. It's
Okay.
from Oakland, California, Bay Area.
Yeah. San Francisco.
So it's kind of like Etsy's version of hashtags.
Yes. And they're 20 characters long. You can use phrases. So, ceramic tiki. As long as it's under 20 characters, it makes a nice tag. You can put tiki bar, patio party, whatever you think people might use to search.
What's a patio party?
I have no idea.
Oh, I thought that was a Canadian thing. You're like, yeah, we have patio party.
Oh, it is. Yeah. I mean, it is a Canadian thing because it was actually a song. Like Patio Lanterns was a huge song for us.
Kim Mitchell. Yeah. So, you can just fill in your tags, and that way more people can find your item by searching different things that aren't just in your title.
Now, I love what Becky Dick's got to say here. Becky is our resident jewelry seller. International buyers are saying it's easier to pay on Etsy than eBay.
How come, Becky?
So Becky, what else? What are they telling you? What's the hiccup on eBay that does not happen on Etsy?
Internationally, it might be the PayPal option versus paying through Etsy Pay, because you can't. That's what's happening now on eBay with the switch over to managed payments. Kind of happened on Etsy a year ago. You used to be able to accept Etsy, but you had to move to Etsy, or PayPal on its own, but you had to move to Etsy payments like a year ago. And there's a big kerfuffle about that. But
yeah,
Etsy. Is that kerfuffle over now?
Oh, yeah, nobody even mentions it anymore.
Not at all. Not at all.
All right. So all the people losing their mind on eBay in a year, you won't even think about it.
No.
Yeah.
Won't even be a thought in your head. So I'm assuming you do have a PayPal account for other things though, yeah?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the money doesn't go into my PayPal. If people pay on Etsy using PayPal, it goes into Etsy payments. And then Etsy sends money to my bank every Monday. So
I choose to have it sent every month.
Yeah.
I don't sell as much. So
you can pick whenever you want. So
oh wow.
Oh.
Now, where it's different from me on eBay, I use a service that duplicates my listings on international eBay sites. So they don't have to buy from me through ebay.com. They can buy through .eu or au.uk. And so I do pick up a lot more international customers than the normal eBay seller because mine are on these internationals. But for those of you who are just using .com, I see what Becky's saying. So yeah, I like that. All right. So when you started on Etsy, were you hooked right away, or you're like, I don't know about this, but I got so much stuff?
Hang on.
Are you getting an offer?
No, sorry. I'll just say it. Stephanie Canada. I get my money deposited on a Monday, and I get it in my bank on the Monday. So I'm not sure how long it takes you to get your money, but mine comes through the same day. So I don't know if that's a Canada thing, that we're actually lucky, but I get my email in the morning saying my money's on my way, and by the time I check my bank, it's there. So
same with us on the monthly deposit. It's like that's what reminds me. Oh, it's here, and it's already there by the time I look at my bank.
Yeah. So
were you hooked right away, or were you still not sure about it? That first sale get you going?
I really enjoyed getting set up on Etsy. I had been selling on Kijiji for a couple of years and was taking part in sort of these one-day pop-up markets in a used bookstore that was sort of half vintage and half crafts. And people kept saying, oh, what's your Etsy shop called? What the hell is Etsy? I'd never heard of it. And so somebody said, oh, you've got to look into it. And so a lady I know, Ruth, had a local Etsy team. And so she sort of mentored me and showed me sort of how it worked. And yeah, I never looked back. I mean, I have made mistakes at the beginning on pricing. I mean, I was looking for a fun tiki cup to use tonight, and I realized that one of my first sales was a pair of tiki mugs from the old Beachcomber restaurant that used to be here in Winnipeg. And I sold them for $25 for the pair. And yeah. But actually somebody that Jason might know. He's a local filmmaker who made a little documentary called My Ties, Toques, and Tikis. And it's about the tiki world in Winnipeg.
I have never seen that or heard of it.
I'll have to find out where it's.
Yeah, please, I would love to see that.
Because
yes, I'm about to cry. I'm crying for Lisa because that was definitely too low. But cost of education, we all do that. We've all sold something too low. We've all listed something, sold in 3 seconds, and we went, "Oh no, is that too low or just right eyes, right time?" Okay, so before we get to your scores and duds, you actually have a job that I am shocked still exists in 2020. Do you know her job, Craig?
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy this still exists?
I like it actually existing and what it is.
Well, yeah, but man, in this day and age. Okay, Lisa, what do you do for a job besides selling online?
I am the magazine manager at a local independent bookstore.
Okay, a bookstore still open, yay. And you actually have, your job is only the magazines. That's mind-blowing in 2020.
Yep. Yeah, and I've been there for 22 years. I've been in the book business since 1986. I started at a different local independent 1 week out of high school in 86.
Wow.
Never looked back.
Like, when I worked at Tower Records in Hollywood on Sunset back in like 2001, and even though it was a record store, our magazine section of rock magazines in 2001 was gigantic. Mm-hmm. So there was definitely a need for someone to obviously curate that.
Yep.
So when I saw that in the notes, I go, "What? That's still a thing?" I'm an Atari 2600 repairman, still in business in 2020.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, Melissa loves that. Yeah. I mean, it's cool as hell. It was really surprising to me. So, is that a 5-day-a-week job?
It is Monday to Friday.
I'm just more shocked now. Yeah, come in once a month. That's all we need.
Nope. Every day.
Yes, nice to see
you
now. Absolutely.
Yeah, we're struggling. I mean, we were closed to the public for just over 2 months. We were still doing curbside pickup and web orders. I was laid off for 3 months. And I just went back a month ago. So it's, we didn't have any magazines in the store at all while the store was shut. So it took me a while to, we're slowly rebuilding my section, but it's coming.
And I got a comment there, Jason. I just saw a comment. You don't sell books, do you, Lisa?
Yes, I do.
You do? On your Etsy store, you do? Okay. I wasn't sure whether you did or not because I just know you for sewing patterns.
Yeah, no, vintage cookbooks. I sold a vintage copy of The Sun Also Rises for $80 US plus shipping.
Cool.
I picked up for $25 at a church. So, yeah, I love books. So.
$25 at church. Are we talking to my mother? What's happening?
Yeah, I give Peggy a run for her money. I'm good at buying things for $25 or less.
Canadian.
Yes.
Yeah, my folks told me the story that my dad's gonna share on Sunday about the Thrifty encounter, but they're really good at not letting me know what they found because they didn't tell me a word about what they bought at the sale, but they did tell me what happened when they walked into the sale. So I'm like, "Oh, Dad, you gotta share that story because that's one of the better Thrifty encounters we've had." Yeah. All right, someone says, "What's your Etsy store name?" Well, Dale, that is like you set it up so we can smash it out of the park. Let's talk about your scores and duds. Yay.
My Etsy shop is Bitchin' Kitsch Kitchen.
All right, there it is right there. Let me make that super big. There you go. There it is. Easy. So write that down. Go follow her. Give her a little heart. All right, so let's start with your duds. It's always best to build up to the scores.
Yeah, that one I had listed for several years. I think 3 years. Let me just sort of double check here. I believe that one was 4.5 years that took to sell. That was a 25-cent buy, which was great, but it only sold for $16 US plus shipping, but it sat around forever. But once a year I would take new pictures, change the title, change my tags, but it finally sold. And it's gone. So
now I gotta say, taking new pictures every year, that's a lot of time invested in something that you're like, this is probably a dud.
Well, when I first started on Etsy, they only had 5 pictures, and they've expanded that now to 10.
Oh, okay.
So a lot of things I was retaking pictures anyway as they came up for renewal after 4 months. So I figured somebody needed to own this tin, because I actually do quite well with tins. But that one, for some reason, didn't do all that well, and it took forever. So.
All right. This, unique. I've never seen a jug like this.
Yeah, that one I changed up the title over and over and over again, because it's actually a ewer, like EWER. And I thought nobody knows what a ewer is, so I changed it to a milk jug or a small pitcher. And
you added sail.
well, yeah, I marked it down because I thought, okay, it's not going anywhere. That one I actually paid £3 at a car boot sale in the UK. So about, I think that's about $4 US. It was about $5.50 Canadian.
She added sale. I'm going to add fireworks to it. Maybe that'll help.
Because yeah, I marked it. I had it at I think $99 originally, and it just sat. And it finally sold for $89 US plus shipping, and it took 7 years.
Oh,
haunted. Okay.
The patient. I have no graphic for patience.
And the strange thing.
Wait, talk about slow. There we go.
See, the strange thing is, I sold a George VI and Queen Elizabeth coronation mug this morning, and it had only been listed for a couple of months. So who knows?
But a good return, a long return, but a good return. All right. I love a good creepy marionette.
Yes, and she was very creepy. I actually still have her counterpart. I have I think he's the sailor or something, which he's all tangled, and I've never gotten around to listing him. So that's one of my projects for the next few weeks, is to finally get him listed. I picked him up, or her up, each of them. They were $2 each at an estate sale, Canadian. And she sold for $100 US, plus the lady needed expedited fast shipping. She needed it within the week, so she paid some ungodly amount for shipping and had it sent to California because she was using it for some sort of theatrical production.
Wow.
So that was awesome. And it was not listed very long either. So.
All right. The next one's near and dear to my heart because this is kind of where I grew up. Near the Amish and the Mennonites.
Ah, okay. So we've got lots of Mennonites up here in Manitoba. So yes, this one was another 25-cent Canadian score. I think that was also from one of the church sales. And I mean, it was in not great condition. It had a lot of stains. It had obviously been used very well. So people had spilled things on it, and lots of wear on the cover. Not the prettiest thing. But that sold for $120 US plus shipping. And it sold almost immediately. And it turned out that this lady, yes, Patina, her mother had it when she was young. And she wanted to buy the one that her mother had.
Wow.
Yeah, it's from 1962. It was a second edition. And she was thrilled with it. So that was awesome. Got it out of my life, and very nice return on investment.
If you don't know, Mennonites are very progressive. They're allowed to have zippers.
Yes.
And that's not a joke. That's one of the differences between Amish and Mennonite. Mennonite gets
they use technology too. So.
Yep.
And yes, the Schlitz, it was a light up sign. I got that for free. There was just a post, guy had just posted it, offering, giving away some assorted beer glasses and stuff. And in the very back corner of the picture, you could just see the edge of the little globe. And I thought, well, what is that? And, he wasn't that far away. And it was basically like first come, first serve. And I thought, okay, I will drive for 5 minutes and go pick it up. And yeah, it was this fabulous working light up beer sign for Schlitz. And that one sold for $129 US plus shipping.
Nice.
Yeah. And it went back to the States. Excuse me. I think that one went to Minneapolis, if I remember rightly. And, oh, yes, that's a Parma Valentine planter. I got her for $1 at an estate sale. And she sold for $125 US plus shipping.
Damn, your average scores were like, hey, I sold this CD for $12. Yay.
Well, I mean, I do sell some.
I know. Just great scores. It's always so great to see. And between Craig and me and you tonight, what a hell of a variety of things. And I hope that, those of you watching, it opens your eyes to, there are so many things out there that you're walking past that we don't all sell the same stuff, but look at the variety. And so that's why I do this show. That's why I have the Thrifty Board. That's why Craig has Craft and does his show with Rick begrudgingly. Not Craig, Rick. But it's all about teaching and sharing. And I've never minded teaching, and too many people hold things close to the vest. Like, I get it if you're making your own product and don't want to share what you're making. But man, I don't know if I'm going to walk into a thrift store and find this. So the fact that I know about it, cool, but it ain't in every Vegas thrift store. I'll tell you that right now.
No, she was super cute. I wanted to keep her, but
so do you have set weekly or monthly goals? Do you try and list X amount of items every week online?
I try to list at least 1 or 2 items on Etsy every day.
Okay.
And instead of listing everything at once, I like to set up a bunch of drafts and then sort of launch them one at a time during the week. So that, as Craig said, it pops up at the top of your feed. Instead of, if I list them all at once, they pop up once.
Yeah.
You don't happen to be there, you're not going to see them. Whereas I have a better chance of somebody seeing them popping up if I list every day.
So Stephanie from last week said Lisa's kicking my butt on the scores. And that made me think, Debbie, I got a thought. Dominic does videos where they do a battle royale. I've never seen one, so I don't know exactly what they do, but I think it would be fun to grab some of the guests from this year and just say, okay, we'll do a group show and let's see your scores from this month. Show us your best ones, and we'll just see who's selling big ticket items, who's got unique stuff. And instead of doing like a regular show, just doing scores from past guests, their current scores. So I think that could be fun, just maybe a Friday night cocktail party where we're just showing scores and hanging out as a group. Because now StreamYard gives us 10, we can have 10 people. We used to be able to have 6. We can now have 10. So it could be me and 9 guests. So I think that'd be fun. Yeah. Oh, look at that. Stephanie's already to go. Yeah. All right. Let's throw it out. Let's do it. I like that idea. All right. By the end of the month, we'll do a group. We'll just, and it has to be from the last 2 weeks. So you can't be like, oh, look at this $1,000 item I sold in February of 2017. Nope, that's not going to cut it. We're going to be last 2 weeks. So let's do 2 thrifters enter, 1 thrifter leaves. Yeah, we'll play the Tina Turner theme song from Beyond Thunderdome.
Yeah, because yes, I have to say those scores of mine were not from the last 2 weeks. Those are dating back. Some of them date back several years. But
here's my first listing in 2006. So what's I usually ask people what's coming up, estate sales, flea markets and stuff, but such a weird time where most of us aren't going places or too often.
Yeah.
Anything on your agenda coming up that you're gonna venture out to?
No, I keep an eye on Marketplace and a little bit on Kijiji, and I've made some good scores in the last week or two. I picked up 40 some odd vintage cookbooks last week for $25, and some sewing patterns, that kind of thing. But I'm not really heading out thrifting right now. I mean, we're wide open. Manitoba has been very lucky. We've only had 325 cases and 7 deaths. So we've dodged a bullet. But I've got so much stuff that isn't listed yet. So I need to really.
Yeah, the nice thing that Lisa does, which I like, is the fact that she has like thousands of patterns, and there's a bunch that she has in those filing cabinets that she actually bought. And we talked about when we had her on the Two Dogs Eggs Hall Pass back in February or so, and she bought those just to file all her sewing patterns in. Is that there's enough of them that she's always like got something that she can put a couple of sewing patterns on a week, and so it's like, so even through her profit piles, some of the things she focuses on, kind of like you with CDs or me with dolls, or it's like you're able to just constantly say, well, I can put 3 or 4 or 10 or 20 of these things on at a time.
Yep.
So her whole shop isn't all that. It's not all, it gets a good mixture in it. So that's one of the things, that's one thing I like about how she's doing it. She has the discipline on Etsy that we have on eBay and on some of the other places. No, I'm not saying we have the discipline. I said you have what we have, or at least what I have, which is no discipline to go through everything and then go back out and shop.
Yeah.
But to keep putting stuff on there. And actually, that's one of the things that I do like about Etsy is the fact that it's 20 cents to do a listing and it stays up there for 4 months too. So it's one of those things that you can trigger whether it renews or doesn't renew. So
and
they're little benefits to people who have not done a lot on Etsy. It's like, it's not like eBay's constant rolling every 30 days and you're going to get charged for it or within it. There's no store cost per se on Etsy, right? It's just the listing costs.
And your old sales stay archived forever. So if I find another George VI jug, I can just click copy, take new pictures.
I did not know that. That's really neat because there's stuff
never go away. The listings are still there in your sold out.
That is the joy of using InkFrog for eBay, because not only does it keep my listings and pictures forever, and of course I pay for that, but my sales too. Every once in a while, especially for when I'm doing this show or teachings, I need to see something I sold on eBay in January, which of course it's long gone, but there it is in InkFrog with the tracking number too. That's what I've been using, because these long delays for international shipping, I can't find some of my things on eBay, but boom, there's my tracking number right in InkFrog. So it saved my butt, because I can have an intelligent conversation with a customer. I can't go, hey, do you still have the tracking number? Because I don't.
Yeah. Now I can look back to 2011 when I started on Etsy and see all the stuff that I've ever sold through there. And sorry, what was that? Do I do manual renew?
Oh no, Stephanie was saying if you do a manual relist, it's like a new listing on Etsy. So it's not like it's just repeating like they do on eBay.
Yeah, it pops it back up to the top of the search. So
there's lots of things that are good on it, and it's a constant learn. They're always evolving. So is eBay. So are some of the other platforms. So even with that, you're still always having to sort of learn a little bit new. Last year, it was all about if it was $35 or higher and you offered free shipping, Etsy was pushing that up in the search results. So it made you as a seller think a little differently on how you sell something. Like the thing I talked about earlier today, I could have listed at $29 and added $10 shipping, but I put it to 40 because I knew it would end up being pushed up on Etsy because it was over the $35 with free shipping.
Yeah,
so there's
free shipping.
Lots of little quirks that you end up learning about, though, on each of the venues. So even if you can get her to do it by September 30th, Jason, to do that listing for that T-shirt, which we hope you sell before then, because
I hope you sell tonight because we talked about it.
I need to watch it.
My pretty, my precious,
my pretty. Yes, actually, it's right here.
There we go.
Bag and ready. I had to weigh it and make sure I could get it in just under the right weight. So
awesome. All right. That was a great long show, but it was just one of those that was just kind of flown along so nice. I'm like, let's keep talking. I don't
shut up. You know me, I don't shut up.
Oh, what? All right. So yes, I'm liking this Thrifter Dome idea. I mean, everyone was so quick with the wit. The song from that is We Don't Need Another Hero. Yeah. And Scott said, we don't need another Vero. I'm like, I see all this coming already. So, Hell yeah. End of the month, I will be reaching out to you. Definitely because it was Stephanie's idea. I'm going to have her on. Lisa, you were a part of this too. And I saw my buddy Josh Toomey, who is one of the postal carriers I'm friends with. He said, oh, I'm so in. So, because he sells. So, yeah, I think we'll be fun. I will go watch what Dominic does so I don't copy him. I'm putting it out to the world right now. I know Dominic does something like this. Not a copy, just I thought we'd do something different. And we'll have fun on a Friday night with some cocktails. All right? So that's what we're going to do. Okay, Secret Beach, we'll see you tomorrow night for the store review. And then everyone come back on Sunday. Hear my dad's great Thrifty encounter and how to get a video into your eBay listing. And now that Etsy has them, I'm sure we'll be doing that show relatively soon afterwards because we want to make sure that when you have things that move, that sing, that dance, if you can show the customer, you'll be one of the few sellers that takes that extra 2 minutes to show the video. And man, I always say pictures speak 1,000 words, videos speak 1,000,000 words.
eBay videos have sound?
Yes, because it's a YouTube link.
Okay.
You have to embed it in a very special way. Okay. Again, they don't make it easy. That's why Mom and I have this show, so we can show you the complicated things, but we're going to go very easy on Sunday. Here's how to take the video. Here's how to upload it. Here's how to convert it. Here's how to stick it in. We will go very slow, step by step.
Etsy's don't have sound yet.
Okay.
So. Yeah.
And the good thing about doing the YouTube videos, if you're selling a Kiss thing, maybe you just happen to have Kiss playing in the background. You know? Just other ways to sell. All right, everybody. Thank you very much for tuning in. Lisa, thank you very much for being the guest tonight. I will see you, Lisa, on September 30th. And Craig, I'll see you later, buddy.
Thanks for having me co-host. I always enjoy doing it.
Thank you very much. Good to see everybody. Do us a favor, give us a thumbs up and subscribe down below. I totally forgot to even say that tonight. And give Lisa a thumbs up. She's awesome.
And visit Bitch and Kitch Kitchen. And if you have questions, go onto the thrifting board or onto Craft. Lisa's on both of them, and I'm sure she'll be able to answer any of your Etsy questions.
Yes, Lisa's very vocal in our shows and everything. So she's a great help to everybody. So thank you for all that, Lisa.
I'll try.
Have a wonderful evening, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.